They have a swagger about them, an aura of invincibility. Back-to-back NBA titles can do that for you. They are desperate for respect and the right to be called champion. When these two worlds collide, you expect nothing short of a battle.
A wire-to-wire victory for the LA Lakers. Demon in your face! And this series is tied at a game apiece.
With their NBA record 12-game road win streak snapped, Game 2 left the defending champs with a bad taste in their mouth. Tonight, the Lakers return home. Can they recapture that aura of dominance? Or will the Kings move one step closer to their ultimate goal? Game 3 is next.
This is the NBA on NBC.
On a beautiful 76-degree day in Los Angeles, a capacity crowd better than 19,000 making their way into Staples Arena as the scene has shifted to Southern California for Game 3 of this best-of-7 Western Conference Final. And the Sacramento Kings getting ready to hit the floor at Staples. The Lakers coming out of the tunnel as they look to continue their home court mastery over the Kings. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Bill Walton. Steve Snapper Jones will be joined in a moment by Jim Gray. And Bill, first, the physical status of Kobe Bryant, who was a bit off his game on Monday night in Game 2 because of the food poisoning suffered at the hands of hotel room service in Sacramento. And Kobe told us before he definitely did not have as his pregame meal a bacon cheeseburger and a slice of cheesecake as he gets ready for tonight.
Kobe, Marv, thank goodness, is a very quick learner. We are now checking the rumors that Kobe Bryant is indeed a vegetarian, but it was Game 2 that made the rest of the Los Angeles Lakers sick, because the dynamic duo of Shaq and Kobe, despite the illness, the complacency, and the lack of intensity, they came through on a combined basis. Their numbers in Game 2 were better, but what happened to the rest of the guys here, the X Factors, Fox and Horry, the starting forwards? These guys are normally so reliable, so precise, and in Game 3 they were magnificent. Game 2, though, there was a significant and ultimately game-turning drop-off, particularly from Horry and Fox. Those are the guys that handle the ball all the time. In the end, the Los Angeles Lakers, they need to quit whining about the refs and get back to the offensive attack that made them the two-time world champions. If they don't get both games here in Los Angeles today, Sunday, then Sacramento, they gain momentum, and that 7th game on the road, that looms very large.
And as for the Kings, Steve, they are once again without the high-scoring Pedro Stojakovic. Continues to sit it out because of that sprained ankle injury, which means they must continue to get the solid all-around play from Chris Webber, as they did in Game 2 on Monday night.
Yeah, Marvin, that is really a key when you say solid all-around play. When was the last time anyone was criticized for scoring 28 points in a playoff game? But that's what happened to Webber after Game 1 and a loss. So he had to change his game, and change it he did. He was more aggressive at the defensive end, resulting in 5 block shots and really asserting himself in all areas, stepped up, made some steals. So Chris Webber was a different player, scoring fewer points, but attacking, getting to the free throw line. Oh, but can he make a free throw? That's what he'll have to improve on. And he put Horry out of the ball game. Fox had 5 fouls, so Mikey Walker had 4. Now, all of that said, they're on a mission as well. They need to prove to themselves and everybody they can win here, and that's been a tough task.
And Sacramento has been very successful on the road. They've won 16 of their last 18 away from Arco, but they've had big problems here at Staples against the Lakers. Coming up, it's Game 3 of this best-of-7. The Lakers are hoping to maintain home court advantage.
I think they're content to say we want to get home court back again, and we can win it. We won't lose 2 at home in this series. So we have to hold serve on our own court.
If we could win Game 3, it would change everything, because they haven't lost us 2 games in the series. They probably don't remember the last time they lost 2 games in the series.
So the Kings and the Lakers getting set to resume. When we come back, we'll hear from Ahmad Rashad and Tom Tolbert back in our New York studio. You are watching the NBA on NBC.
NBC is brought to you by the Fannie Mae Foundation, showing America a new way home. By American Express Financial Advisors, make life rewarding. By Lamisil AT, the official athlete's foot treatment of the NBA. And by United Airlines, more than 1,700 daily flights, over 100 destinations worldwide. We are united.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our New York studio. Ahmad Rashad, joined as always by Tom Lord Byron Tolbert, as we get ready for Game 3 between the Kings and the Lakers. And after battling injuries lately, it looks like Shaq is back to his old self. He had 35 points and 12 rebounds in Game 2.
It reminded me of Tigger. He was bouncy. And usually when you think of Shaq, you don't think of bouncy, aside from going, hoo, 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 hoo. He didn't do like, Tigger does
400-pound Tigger.
He looked animated. He looked really good out there. He was getting offensive rebounds, battling on the boards. That's the best I've seen him look in the playoffs. All
right, talking about Shaq, he and Phil Jackson are both complaining about the refs. Is that just a little bit of gamesmanship, or does that really work on the refs?
I think from Phil it's gamesmanship. Shaq's mad. But in the case of Shaq, let Shaq go out and guard somebody who's 7'3", 480, who has all the athleticism and agility that Shaq has, and he'll know it's not hard. What does he expect these guys to do? Roll over and play dead? They're battling. They're doing what they have to try to win a game. Just zip it and play.
That person doesn't exist yet on
No,
this
not
planet.
yet.
We'll have more on the game a little later, but right now we want to mention today's other big story in the NBA. Spurs center David Robinson, who's struggled this year with back problems, announced he'll retire at the end of next season.
This has been a great 13 years for me, and I'm excited about next year. I think it's going to be a fantastic year. I think we're going to come back. My back feels fantastic. My body feels great. I wish it would have felt great 3 weeks ago, but it feels great now, and hopefully we'll have a great summer and come back and have a fantastic year next year.
Humor after 3 weeks. David had one of the greatest careers in NBA history. He's been a 10-time All-Star, a league MVP. He helped lead the Spurs to the NBA title in 1999. And when you think about David Robinson, what do you think about?
The triceps. You should have seen his triceps. They were just, I'm serious.
He is
this guy, 7'1", he was the most athletic 7-footer that I think I've ever seen. He did things that kind of revolutionized the center position, kind of like Kevin Garnett now, except Kevin Garnett's playing small forward. I mean, just an amazing athlete and really a great player who probably doesn't get the respect that he deserves now because he's not really a prototypical center.
The only NBA player that could walk the length of the court on his hands. That's 7 feet.
Pretty amazing
Up
stuff.
next, we'll have more on the Kings and the Lakers, including an update on Kobe Bryant's condition from Kobe himself. You're watching the NBA on NBC. We are closing in on Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals, and right now we're going to check in with two of the backcourt stars, the Lakers' Kobe Bryant and the Kings' Mike Bibby. We'll begin with Kobe, who's with Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. It's been a rough week for Kobe Bryant, the food poisoning. He missed some practice. Kobe, first question, how you feeling tonight?
I feel pretty good. It's going to be fun to get back out there and play the game.
The question isn't about the energy at the beginning of the game for you. Coach Jackson says that'll be fine. What about the fourth quarter? Do you think you're going to have your legs and your energy by then?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to try to pace myself and make sure I have the energy when we need it the most.
Did it take a lot out of you this week?
Yeah, it was a tough week.
What'd you eat for dinner?
Burger.
Did you really?
McDonald's.
A bacon cheeseburger?
No, number 2.
Marv was wrong again. Back down to you, Steve.
All right, Jim. Mike Bibby, it's been mission impossible for the Kings to win here, so what has to change?
I think we're more relaxed this year. We've been playing good on the road, and we feed off the fans. So I think we're going to play on how the fans react and how the fans are to us.
You didn't have room service, did you?
No, I'm not going to eat room service, so I'm there either.
All right, Ahmad, back to you.
All right, Steve, the Kings are a running team. Now, will they run even more to try to wear Kobe out?
I don't think you can run any more than the Kings run. That's just a style of play that they try to do. And on the road, I think the interesting thing about tonight's game will be, will the Lakers fall into a running game with the Kings? Because now they're at home, their fans will be going nuts. You're more likely to get into that type of game when you play at home against the Kings. They did a good job of stabilizing the flow in the games up in Arco. But at home, this is exactly what the Kings want to do, get the game going up and down. And will the Lakers be disciplined while they're at home, while their fans are going crazy, to keep it to like a one-possession game and keep the spurts to a minimum?
Rick Adelman said he's tired of people criticizing Chris Webber because he plays so much from the outside. I think he was talking about you, because you have criticized Chris for not going more inside.
Well, he's not just an inside guy, but he needs to mix it up a little bit. He needs to get in there. He needs to draw fouls. You saw him do it last game. And sometimes when he faces up, drive, take it to the rim, get some fouls. I think people get infuriated with him when they see him just stand out there and launch 17-footer after 17-footer. They have guys that do that. Bobby Jackson goes to the hole more than he does. He's 6'10", 245 for crying out loud, 250. Get to the rim.
I think people like Rick Adelman get furious when you criticize Chris Webber.
You should have seen me get to the rim.
Woo. I saw that once. Coming up, it's Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. Chris Webber and the Kings tied the series Monday night, but now they head to the Staples Center to face Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers, who've won 19 of their last 20 games at home. We'll send you to Los Angeles for the tip-off in just a moment. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Cadillac. Bold vehicles, defying convention. Cadillac, breakthrough. By Foster's Australian Beer. By Dockers Dress Casuals. By IBM, e-business is the game. Play to win. And by NBA Playoffs 2002. Love it live. We welcome you back to Staples in downtown Los Angeles. Let's check out the starting lineups for the Sacramento Kings. Hedo Turkoglu, who's been struggling up front with Chris Webber. Lonnie Divac, the center. Doug Christie and Mike Bibby in the backcourt. And the two-time defending NBA champion Lakers with Rick Fox. Robert Horry remains in that starting lineup with Shaquille O'Neal. That's the front line. Kobe Bryant, Derek Fisher in the backcourt. Once again, let's check in with Jim Grant.
All right, thank you very much, Marvel. Shaquille O'Neal and Phil Jackson have spent the past couple of days complaining about the officiating. A lot has been written and a lot has been said. I spoke to Rick Adelman before the game. He said he's sick and tired of all that the Lakers have been saying. If they're so good, they ought to just play the game. That's right, I'm tired of it. Just let him play. I took that reply to Shaquille O'Neal, to which Shaq told me, I wish they would just play and not fly. Marv?
All right, Jim. And following some of these sarcastic comments by Phil Jackson,